Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Patrick Harris. I am with Western Title. It is 10 o'clock, right on the nose. So if you have not heard about Western Title before, we are a local title and escrow company. We have 7 offices across the state of Nevada. And now as a division of Stewart Title Company, we actually have a statewide presence. We have the largest state footprint for title and escrow. So whether you're working here in Reno, Winnemucca, Urington, Carson City, Gardnerville, or you're in the far reaches of Elko, our company is more than happy to assist you with any title and escrow needs. In addition, we also have a bevy of new tools and services, including a way that you can mobilely deposit earnest money, as well as prevent wire fraud for your clients, especially if they are dealing with any type of electronic money transfers. So to find out more about those tools, we welcome you guys to give our sales department a call. Either that or you can come to some of our classes. We hold these hot topic classes every other month. So our next one is going to be Thursday, November 12th, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But in the meantime, today, we have a Washoe County Recorder update. So joining us today for the main presentation is Kaylee Work. She's our Washoe County Recorder. She serves as the county recorder where she advocates for the use of technology to make local government more efficient, secure, and user-friendly. A proud Nevada native, Kaylee graduated from the University of Nevada, Reno, earning her bachelor's degree in speech communication. She then attended Harvard University, where she earned her master's degree in business management with a focus on innovation and sustainability. Before becoming an elected official, Kaylee worked in the private sector, where she led teams in operations and finance compliance at Microsoft. Kaylee lives in Reno with her husband, Matthew, and their daughter. She is a proud Wolfpack sports fan, woo, go Wolfpack, a dog lover, and supporter of several community nonprofits. Kaylee is a member of the National Association of Counties and the International Association of Government Officials. She is currently working to bring a property fraud alert system to the area, which she'll be talking about today, and to deliver the highest degree of privacy and security of counties' official records. So it is with great honor that we turn this over to Kaylee, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Western Title, for having me. This is such a pleasure. So today we thought that we would go over 3 primary areas. First, share about the recorder's office in general, tell you a little bit about what we do here, and then we'll give you kind of an overview of our stats at a glance. What's been happening in Washoe County over the last 2 years, and then we'll end by sharing some new and upcoming projects. So without further ado, I'm going to first introduce my team. We have several folks joining me here in the conference room at the recorder's office. We are nice and socially distanced, but we have Hunter, who is our department systems specialist. We have Kristen Leslie in the room, who is our transfer tax compliance recorder. And we have Veronica Bell to my right, who is our real estate recording supervisor. So if you have any questions related to these topics, these are the experts in the room, and we are happy to answer any of your questions throughout this presentation, and then we'll save time at the end for Q&A as well. All right, so a little bit about the recorder's office. We are one of the 23 departments here at Washoe County, and we are located here on 9th Street. I'm sure some of you have stopped by our office to record a deed once or twice in your time at Western Title. But I wanted to share a little bit about our mission statement, because our mission of the recorder's office is really to record and preserve and provide access to the records that are maintained in our office, because we have to permanently keep those for life. And we do so, of course, with the highest quality possible. And there's several types of records that we record here. So we record mostly anything related to land records, all types of deeds, UCCs, mining records. We even record military discharge papers, maps, land maps, parcel maps, survey maps, as well as marriage recordings. And over the last 2 years, we've really been on this digital transformation. You'll see here that our priorities really fall between security, innovation, accessibility, and public service. We're really trying to adopt new technologies to update our systems, update our business processes, and improve the experience that you have with us to meet the demand of demand of the public. And we're really seeing this year with COVID-19 and really how we want to use technologies to make it easier to do business with us. And that's our overall goal, is to make government easy for you to conduct business with us. All right, so a little bit about the recording process. I can't see who's all in the room, but I know we have real estate agents and we have title and escrow agents online. So you're very familiar with this process. So once a home is sold, the agreement is sent off to title and escrow. Of course, underwriting is performed and a deed is drawn up. And then title agent submits the deed once completed and signed to our office. And title and escrow typically does that electronically. So that's fantastic because it's a really simpler process than having a mail-in or come over the counter. So once the title agent sends that to our office electronically through a third-party e-submitter, we pick that up really within a couple of hours, and we call that our e-review process. And so we do a quick scan to make sure all of our general recording requirements have been met. And if so, you'll know within 2 or 3 hours at most whether or not that document, that package has been accepted or rejected. If it's accepted, we collect those fees and the deed will receive a recording label. That's what you see here on the center of the slide in the upper right. You see that package receives a document number. It has a date and time stamp with that as well. And that means that that document is now on public record. And we store that permanent image of that document in our system. And then we continue on to 3 phases after that to ensure that package is nice and neat when it's stored for life, right? So we're really looking at 3 phases there on our backside, our workflow. So first we start with redact. So any PII, anything like a private account number, social security number, our team goes in and manually redacts that with our system. We then have to go in and index. So the grantor, grantee, all those specific recording requirements that we look for, we then have to go in and index a lot of that information. Again, it's a human being going in and typing that information. So sometimes there are errors, but that's why we then have a third process, which is our verify process. So we again check, make sure everything that needed to be redacted, it was in fact redacted and indexed appropriately. Again, very manual, but that whole process end to end takes approximately 72 hours. So I will pause there. Do we have any questions on the recording process? I don't see anything in the chat, so I will continue. All right, so we talked about general recording requirements. This is a long list that title agents are very used to seeing. But I wanted to highlight this because I commented on that a deed may be rejected, right? And why would it be rejected? There's a number of reasons, as you can see on this screen. The document, of course, must be original. It must follow the proper formatting guidelines, and these are all according to statute. So our office doesn't make this up. These are according to statute, and they are aligned with other counties. So if you are selling property or buying property elsewhere in other counties in Nevada, these rules look the same. I just wanted to mention the last bullet point on here is e-notary. So e-notary, we've seen a couple of these. We expect, just like I think the title industry expects, that this may pick up in the future. Just know that if you are signing a deed electronically and that's coming with an electronic notary, just make sure there is that statement of digital notary upon submission of that document. And we have examples of that if anyone needs one. All right, so you may be asking yourself, well, how many records are we talking about here? So I'm going to go to the next slide and share with you our stats at a glance. So this is what we did this last fiscal year. And so when I talk about Washoe County's FY20, that's July 2019 to June 2020. So this highlights just really the start of COVID, right? When we hit in March through June. So our numbers slowed down a little bit, and we'll share that here in a moment as well. But we recorded more than 167,000 recordings between this 12-month time frame. 23,000 of those were property transfers. And not only do we record these documents, but we also provide copies to the public. So earlier I mentioned that we also maintain marriage records. And why I'm highlighting that is because we've had more than 20,000 copies that we've provided as well. So our office is almost split into two, I would say two mini subdivisions. So we have the real estate operations, and then we also have what I call as the order fulfillment copy center or customer service division. And we take orders online and over the phone for copies as well. And I just wanted to highlight that number because it's been growing year over year, and really due to the requirement from the DMV. So with that real ID requirement that some of us, if we didn't have that star on our ID, we were reminded to go get one of those. We've had a lot of phone calls for those. Of course, that requirement was extended through next year, so it's slowed down for us a little bit as of late. But I just wanted to highlight that. And this last year, we've had, this last fiscal year, we had less than 6,000 marriages happen in Washoe County, by far the lowest in Washoe County's recorded history. We used to be a marriage mecca, if you will, and that's been declining pretty significantly year over year. But what I will say is that that might be upticking, right? Because we've had, the clerk's office has been very busy issuing marriage applications, especially from our neighbors in Florida, our neighbors in California. So we'll probably see an increase there. So anyway, back to real estate. I just want to close this slide with talking a moment about real property transfer tax. This last year, we collected $27 million in real property transfer tax. To the right, you see a pie chart, and you'll see how that's allocated. Very, very little of that stays in Washoe County, but you'll see the majority there goes actually to the State of Nevada General Fund, and you'll see that indicated in yellow, followed by C tax or consolidated tax distribution in orange. All right. Did I say Florida earlier?
Yes.
Oh,
We burning
the
California.
smoke is getting to me. Wow. All right. All right. So, okay. So let's go back to real property transfer tax year over year. Again, just highlighting this a little bit more. What you'll see here, FY20 is in yellow. FY19, so the previous year, was in green. You'll see how we're actually trending down. That's expected, right, with COVID. We do see Q1 so far. We're not yet complete with Q1, but we are seeing that track back up. So more to come on that. Any questions on RPTT? Okay. All right, then we'll move on. Next we have is total documents recorded. So again, this is just one more visual for my visual learners out there. We have recorded a lot more documents than even we did last year. And that is pretty consistent with what you're going to be mostly interested in is specific to property transfers. So our different types of deeds. Again, last month in August, we did 2,300 deed recordings, and that's again up from this time last year. What you notice, of course, in blue is our dip in April and May, and that was really when the real estate industry slowed down. And you guys felt it, and we saw it too. It looks like we're playing a little bit of catch up. If you'll notice, June, July, and August, again, we're still seeing very strong growth in property sales there, and so we're going to keep an eye on that. I think the expectation, what I'm hearing from your industry, is that it's going to be it may be a strong full year right through December. So we'll keep an eye on this, and if you ever have any questions, we're happy to share what we're seeing here. So, all right, we'll go to the next one. All right. Was there anything you wanted to add to?
No, yeah.
No? All right. Well, we're moving right along.
Indeed. Very good coverage.
Yes.
All right, so here's what I wanted to share with you as well. So last year, we, per SB 117, last year in the 2019 legislature, we had the Declaration of Removal of Discriminatory Restriction form created. This form is available in our office. You can find it here in person or online. But what this form does is it provides public notice that any CC&Rs containing discriminatory language is, of course, void and unenforceable. I've heard stories from real estate agents. I don't know if anyone has an example on the line where a new homeowner went to purchase a home and they had to sign off on older age deed restrictions that contained this language. There was after reviewing this here in our office, we did find about a 20-year period where it was very common in Washoe County, like it was in other counties as well. So this form is meant to put the homeowner at ease that of course, this is unenforceable, and they do not stand by that language that was previously in their CC&Rs. What we did want to draw attention to is there have been some of these recorded, and if you feel like you may live in a neighborhood or know a neighborhood that may have these deed restrictions, if anyone in that subdivision has in fact recorded this document and they listed that subdivision, that is searchable on our website under the search and order document section. So feel free, if you have some free time, to look that up. And help us get the word out there too, that this is a form, and if there are any concerns, it's very simple. This is a general recording document. It costs $43 and can be recorded here in our office Monday through Friday at any time. Okay.
I just want to add that it is a free form. So if you do have customers, clients looking for it, they can print it from our website for free, or they can call, we can mail them one, or they can come in and pick it up.
Kaylee, if you're willing, looks like we have 2 questions in the chat. We're wondering how many of these have been recorded so far, if you have that number, and then who is responsible for recording the declaration if discriminatory language is found in a CC&R.
Great question. So I don't know offhand. There's only been a handful that I'm aware of.
We have recorded less than a dozen. I think that the public being aware that this is available is not widely known. It is up to the homeowner to record that, but I think it's a matter of getting the information available to new owners. And even people who have been living or residing on a property for an extensive period of time can still come in and record those. But I think if they're not in the midst of a transaction, it's not in their immediate thoughts.
And I'm sorry, what was the second question?
Oh, you actually answered both of them, but another question came in concerning if this was available only in Washoe or if it was available in more counties in Nevada.
That's a great question. It's now available throughout Nevada. So each county, we use the same form, and so it can be recorded in any county you have property in.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay.
There's another question. Sylvia Smith says, have we received any information that this may come up again next session, but with the actual redaction language and burden on the counties. I'm not aware that that's the plan.
I'm not aware of that either, Sylvia. Something we can look into. Great question, thank you. All right, and then we're coming to a close here. Last but not least, we have a new program coming out. It is called a recording notification service, and we're looking at November launch for this. I'm very excited about this. We've had several customer calls asking what we are doing to help educate them on basically their chain of title and what's going on with their property. So what we've decided to come up with is a free opt-in email alert system. This isn't an entirely new product. It is new to our county. Nye County actually launched a program, very, very similar product back in 2013. They've had a lot of great customer feedback, and we've decided to explore this for Washoe County. And both ourselves and Clark County are on track to launch this service in November. So I wanted to get the word out here. I thought this was a great opportunity to share a little about this program here. We're hoping to launch this closer to September or October. Our launch date has pushed back to November, but you will see more communications coming out in the form of a press release, videos, different content to make your industry aware, as well as other homeowners in the area. But again, what this is it's a free opt-in email service that you can sign up for. It'll be available on our website. You can simply add your name, your spouse's name if you'd like, different variations of your name, and of course your assessor's parcel number or your APN. And anytime a record is recorded here in our office with those variations, you'll be notified via email, that email that you provide. Again, it's opt-in. You can also unsubscribe at any time. But I think this will go a long way in helping not only detect record fraud or document fraud, if that is an issue, but it'll also just give you peace of mind knowing that if there is a lien against your property, you're going to find out immediately because these communications will go out. There'll be automated communications that go out every day, every 24 hours. So like I said, very timely, and it will be up to the information that you subscribe to. So we're very excited about this one. We will, like I said, be rolling this out. We believe the first week of November. We're currently in deployment stages right now, working on the technology component, and then we'll go through a testing period. And then once that is great, we will have this listed on our website. So any homeowner can feel free to sign up. All right.
Yeah, there's a question.
Do we have a question?
Can we work together with you on this to market to the consumer? This is Chad Felix.
Chad, we would love that. Absolutely. We can connect offline. That would be great. All right. So that's what I had for you today. We will now open this time for any feedback that you have for us. I know we kind of went through this pretty quickly, but any questions about the recording process or anything else we're up to?
And everybody is able to unmute themselves if they need to, or you can write your question in the chat. In the meantime, while questions are coming in, Kaylee, how has the workload been this year? I know on our side, Title and Escrow, we've been swamped this year.
Yeah, we've been keeping ourselves busy, even with through COVID and the slowdowns. I would say that kind of when our offices closed, ironically, it kind of gave us a moment to really catch up and speed up in a way. I don't know if you guys would agree with me on that. We've also been working on several projects, so we have we're waiting actually on a project where we're digitizing all of our records. So over this last year, we've been very focused, hyper-focused on record preservation and disaster recovery. And so we had a vendor come in last October and scan all the books here in our library. So if you haven't been in our office, half the office is dedicated to a library where we have some 1,000 plus 2,000 books.
Yeah.
2,000 big books. And so we've had all those original documents scanned, and we're obtaining the rest of those digital images here shortly over the next month or so. That in itself will allow our staff to, instead of going out to the library to have to pull records sometimes when they're dated and they're not in our system, we'll now have simple access ourselves. And so that's going to cut down on so much time. We already had the marriage records digitized and sent to us, so that in itself has saved us so much time. So we're really starting to see the effect of using these technologies in our office to make us more efficient, and hopefully the public is feeling that as well. And then another area, and I don't know if this was a result of 2017 legislation where the PII and redacting came in. Was it before that?
It was prior.
It was prior to that. So we also have another project where anything that we do publish on our website cannot have personal identifiable information, of course. And so in our spare time, which is little, but in our spare time, we are in a separate queue and just redacting information from older documents so that if there is a request for a copy, that's already been redacted and it's accessible quickly and timely for our customers. So the question was workload. It's been very busy, but we're finding ways to make us more efficient, even though it makes us a little bit busier now. It gives us more efficiency here in the long run.
Great. Well, seeing no other questions, be sure to take a snapshot of the Q&A page right here. It's got their number as well as Kaylee's email. Kaylee, did you or your coworkers have any last statements to make?
No.
None from you?
No.
Okay. I'll just close out with, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback. We are entirely downstream from everything else that you're working on in your day-to-day. So if there's anything that we can do and be a little bit more proactive that will help you later on, that's what we're here to do. We want to make it easier to do business. Of course, we have many requirements that we're held to according to statute, but we really want to work to make this a seamless experience. So any feedback or ideas, feel free to reach out. I have my number and email here, and we're happy to work through any questions and feedback that you have.
Hey, Kaylee, it's Sylvia. I just wanted to thank you very much for the presentation this morning, and thank you for putting up the slides on sometimes the document requirements. I think it's really important, and I want to give a shout out to you and your team for being super great at communication with the title companies when there are issues. It really helps us. I know for the real estate agents on the call, sometimes they forget that we represent the public and we are that go-between, to be able to get everyone's transaction recorded. So I really appreciate you taking the time and just kind of showing more how much we really do have to work together. And kudos on the new recording notification alert. I think that's going to be an amazing tool. And we need to get the word out to the consumers, and we'll be super happy to help with that. But thank you and all of your folks for this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any more questions, you can always reach out to Western Title and we can forward it to Kaylee, or you can reach out to the email right here on your screen. For future reference, we do have a class coming up November 12th. It is going to be, we're going to be talking about a forecast for 2021, as well as business planning to make sure that you guys as real estate are ready for the new year and all of the adventures that we get to do in 2021. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you again, Kaylee and your team. We really appreciate it. And everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you again.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, Patrick.
Bye-bye.